This week, President Trump turned 80, and in the same 72 hours, he announced a ceasefire deal with Iran, clashed publicly with Israel's Prime Minister, and staged a UFC fight on the White House lawn. If you've been trying to keep up with the news lately, today we're breaking down exactly what happened, what's confirmed, and what's still just talk. Let's get into it. Let's start with the headline. On June 15, President Trump announced that the United States and Iran had reached a deal to end their war. He posted on Truth Social, quote, "The deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran is now complete," and said he was authorizing the toll-free reopening of the Strait of Hormuz along with an immediate end to the U.S. naval blockade. Vice President J.D. Vance confirmed that he and the president had virtually signed a memorandum of understanding. He described it to reporters as, quote, "about a page and a half, covering three things: ending the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports, reopening the Strait of Hormuz for shipping, and starting 60 days of nuclear negotiations." Vance also told NBC News that international nuclear inspectors will be allowed back into Iran under the agreement. A formal signing ceremony is scheduled for Friday, June 19, in Geneva, Switzerland, and notably, Trump has suggested he won't attend in person. This matters because a memorandum of understanding is a framework, not a finished treaty. Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, called it an important step but stressed that, quote, "a final agreement has not yet been completed." Here's where it gets complicated. According to NPR, the deal extends the existing ceasefire by 60 days but does not actually resolve the issue that started the war in the first place: Iran's nuclear program. Trump didn't mention the nuclear question at all in his initial posts announcing the deal, even though dismantling Iran's nuclear capability was his stated reason for launching strikes back in February. In a separate interview with the New York Times, Trump said Iran would be permitted some level of low-enrichment nuclear activity, a notable shift, since he had previously called for dismantling Iran's program entirely. And then there's Lebanon. Pakistan's Prime Minister, who helped mediate the deal, said the agreement included what he called the, quote, "immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon." But a U.S. official confirmed to CNN that the agreement does not actually require Israel to withdraw from Lebanon, and Israel has said it intends to continue its military presence there regardless. So, a real diplomatic breakthrough, yes, but with major pieces still unsettled. While all this was happening, Trump was overseas at the G7 summit in France, and that's where things got tense. According to CNN, Israel struck a suburb of Beirut on Sunday, killing a senior Hezbollah commander. Trump was reportedly furious about the timing, and a U.S. official told CNN he conveyed his displeasure directly to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump then posted publicly that, quote, "there should be no more attacks by Israel anywhere in Lebanon." Al Jazeera also reported that during the summit, Trump openly criticized Israeli strikes on Lebanon in front of other world leaders, an unusually public rebuke of one of America's closest allies, happening at the exact moment the U.S. was trying to lock in a ceasefire with Iran. It's a reminder that ending one conflict doesn't mean the region calms down overnight. The U.S. is now trying to manage Iran, Israel, and Lebanon all at once. Here's the part that actually touches everyday Americans. Global oil markets reacted almost instantly. NBC News reported that oil prices fell more than $4 a barrel the moment the tentative deal was announced, since reopening the Strait of Hormuz means a key global shipping route, one that's been mostly shut down since February, could start flowing again. But the war already did damage on the way in. One trade group reported that the cost of Group 3 base oil, the stuff used in motor oil blends, has jumped 175% since the war with Iran began. So even with a deal in place, expect prices at the pump and in auto maintenance to take time to fully normalize. So here's where things actually stand. A framework deal is signed, but the real test comes Friday in Geneva, when the formal agreement is supposed to be finalized, including those 60 days of nuclear talks that haven't even started yet. Watch for three things: whether Iran's nuclear enrichment limits get spelled out in writing, whether Israel scales back operations in Lebanon despite Trump's public pushback, and whether oil prices keep falling now that the blockade is lifted. We'll be tracking all of it. If you want the follow-up the moment the Geneva signing happens, make sure you're subscribed, and drop in the comments which part of this story you want us to go deeper on next time.